Today, we're going to talk about something that is totally changing the game for how we learn. We're looking at how artificial intelligence is reshaping the world of learning design. And we're not just talking about simple tools here. We're talking about an era where AI is basically a co-pilot, helping us create brand new ways to learn. So let's dive right in. So let me start with a pretty big question. Could an AI right now design the absolute perfect course just for you? A course that knows your strengths, your weaknesses, and knows exactly what buttons to push to keep you hooked. It sounds a little like science fiction, but this idea is at the very heart of everything we're going to explore today. Okay, so to really get AI's impact, we've got to first understand the human at the center of all this, the instructional designer. Now, I want you to think of them less as a teacher and more like an architect, someone who carefully, meticulously plans and constructs every single part of a learning experience. And that is the key takeaway right there. You see, truly effective learning is never, ever an accident. Just like a building doesn't just magically appear out of thin air, a great course doesn't just happen. It's built from a super detailed blueprint, one that's designed to be strong, effective, and to do its job perfectly. So what does this classic blueprint even look like? Well, for decades, the gold standard in the industry, the go-to framework, has been something called the ADDIE model. This is the foundational plan we really need to get our heads around. At its heart, ADDIE is a simple 5-phase process. It's a structured, almost scientific approach that makes sure you're not just throwing content at a wall and hoping it sticks. You're actually building a real solution to a real problem, and in a way that truly works for the people learning. The whole process just flows in 5 really logical steps. It all kicks off with analysis, digging in to understand your audience and what they need. From there, you design the blueprint, mapping out objectives and storyboards. Then you actually develop the materials. After the implementation, when the course goes live, you hit the last super critical step, evaluation, where you figure out, did it actually work? But here's the reality of the situation. That very first step, analysis, it's by far the most important. I mean, if you don't really get the problem, there's no way you can design the right solution. And yet, because of tight deadlines and pressure, this is the one phase that gets rushed, or sometimes even skipped entirely. And this is where AI storms onto the scene. It's not here to wreck the building or tear down the blueprint. It's here to give that architect a revolutionary set of power tools. AI is basically supercharging every single phase of that ADD process we just walked through. So the first and probably most obvious impact of AI is its incredible knack for automating all the repetitive, time-sucking tasks. The grunt work that can totally bog down any creative person. What this looks like in the real world is an instructional designer can use AI to instantly whip up a first draft of a course outline, or maybe a bunch of quiz questions. It can grade assignments automatically, translate content into a dozen languages in minutes. It frees up the human designer to focus on the stuff that really matters, the big picture. And that time savings is huge. A survey in the UK found that teachers spend nearly a third of their time on things like planning, grading, and admin. That's almost a third of their entire work week. Imagine getting all that time back. That's the promise of AI automation. Less admin, more brainpower for high-impact work. All right, the second big theme is where things get really, really cool. AI is finally making it possible to give every single person a truly personalized learning experience, something that before now was just completely impossible to do for large groups. Just picture a system that builds a unique learning path just for you. As you move through it, the system adapts, making things easier or harder in real time based on how you're doing. And if you get stuck, an intelligent tutor is there to help you 24/7. All while using tricks from video games to keep you motivated. It's amazing. So what this really means is that our learning architect gets this incredible direct line of sight into every single learner's journey. It's not just about creating different options. It's about using real data to constantly get suggestions on better, more customized ways to teach. And that data leads us right into our third theme. Because beyond just automation and personalization, AI can chew through massive amounts of data to find patterns and give us insights that are, well, frankly, superhuman. So, using something called predictive analytics, an AI can flag a student who's at risk of falling behind before it actually happens. It can see which parts of a course people are skipping or which quiz questions trip everyone up. It's kind of like having a brilliant data scientist as your personal assistant, pointing out all the things you'd never notice on your own. Now, with all these amazing new power tools, you might be thinking, well, is the human architect even necessary anymore? But actually, the exact opposite is true. When the toolkit gets more powerful, the skill, the judgment, and the creativity of the architect become more important than they have ever been. And here's the essential reality check. AI is phenomenal at generating content, but it doesn't have empathy. It doesn't understand your company's culture. It doesn't know what motivates your specific learners. It completely lacks true critical thinking and that deep contextual understanding of the real world. So you see, this isn't a competition. It's a partnership, a dream team, really. AI brings the raw speed, the data crunching, and the automation. The human brings the empathy, the creativity, the critical thinking, and that all-important context. You put them together, and you get something way more powerful than either one could ever be on its own. So how do we make this partnership work? Well, there are a few ground rules. First, you have to treat AI like a brilliant creative assistant, not a replacement. Second, the human must always be in the loop to review, to edit, and especially to fact-check what the AI spits out. And finally, we have to be the guardians of ethics, checking for bias, making sure work is original, and just being honest about how AI is being used. And at the end of the day, the core message is really this simple. AI isn't here to replace the people who design learning. It's here to empower them, to let them do more, and to do it better with less. Ultimately, this is the future we're building. It's not about humans versus machines. It's about a powerful, seamless collaboration where human creativity and empathy are in the driver's seat, guiding the incredible power and scale of artificial intelligence. And all of this leaves us with one final, really big question to chew on. If AI can handle so much of the process, the content creation, the grading, the analytics, what does that free us up to do? When the machine can handle the mechanics, what does it truly mean to teach? That's something for all of us to think about.